millions of votes continue to be counted as President Trump takes his fight to court. I'm Michael George at the Biden campaign headquarters with what both candidates are saying about their next moves.
A kindergarten teacher gives tips to practice patience as we await final election results. A new federal campaign seeks to raise awareness of maternal mortality rates.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
CBS News now projects former Vice President Joe Biden has won Michigan. This is KOAM News at 5. The race for 270 electoral votes is still very much underway, with votes still being counted in a number of battleground states. The Trump campaign has filed several lawsuits to halt the ballot counting. Michael George reports from Biden's campaign headquarters in Wilmington, Delaware.
Protesters chanted "Stop the count" outside the vote tally center in Detroit Wednesday as CBS News projects former Vice President Joe Biden winning Michigan. CBS News also projects a win for Biden in Wisconsin.
Now, after a long night of counting, it's clear that we're winning enough states to reach 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency.
In Pennsylvania, more than 1 million mail-in ballots still have to be counted. Officials say it could take days before the winner is known.
We'll be done as soon as we're done. We want to make sure that every vote that is legitimately cast and is good.
The former vice president gave his perspective on the state of the race here in Delaware as President Trump continues to undermine confidence in the integrity of the election. The president tweeted this afternoon, "They're working hard to make the 500,000 vote advantage in Pennsylvania disappear. Likewise, Michigan and others." His campaign challenged the vote count in Pennsylvania and asked the U.S. Supreme Court to get involved.
This is absolute fraud. We've seen it in Philadelphia before. They're trying to make a mockery of the election of this country.
The Trump campaign also filed a lawsuit over the vote count in Michigan. Michael George, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
North Carolina State Board of Electors says with few exceptions, results from the state won't be updated until next week. Some states are also still waiting on results for races in the U.S. House and Senate. So far, neither party is coming away with a majority in the U.S. Senate. Both parties have flipped one seat of declared races. In the House, Republicans have so far flipped a few more seats than Democrats, but Democratic leadership is claiming to still control a majority. Local officials say it could be some time before we know the winner of the presidential race. Some voters dealt with long lines at the polls yesterday to make sure their voices were heard. We spoke with local officials and experts on how long they think the national vote count could take.
The thing about this election is I don't think it's going to be decided in a few days. I think it's going to be decided in weeks or months because I'm sure that there's going to be some court challenges that may potentially go up to the Supreme Court.
The last time a presidential election victory wasn't determined within a few days was after the 2000 election between George Bush and Al Gore. In our Instapoll yesterday, we asked you how confident you were about votes being counted properly at the national level. We're going to have reaction on that from Davis and residents tonight at 6. The wait for presidential election results can be stressful and require patience. We spoke with a Webb City kindergarten teacher on how she teaches her students to practice patience and the importance behind that. She says it's all about going back to basics, taking deep breaths, distracting yourself with something else, and even just getting up and walking around to stimulate the neurons in your brain. Practicing patience can help lessen feelings of frustration, anger, or stress.
There are a lot of things that will test our patience when we're driving down the road, when we're waiting our turn in a drive-through line or at a store to check out. There are plenty of opportunities to practice that patience, and the same skills that we teach our kindergartners are the skills that we need as adults too.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear from some kindergartners on ways they practice patience. Doug Hetty joins us now. No reason to stress over the weather. It's looking pretty nice.
No, all week long so far has been great. At worst today, we have some clouds that are rolling through, but temperature is still fantastic. And these clouds are going to continue to work through as we head through the evening hours and the overnight hours and then eventually pass by. As a weak little wave is just kind of shifting by, but there's no moisture with it, so we're going to stay dry. Look at our temps. Most of us upper 60s to near 70 degrees. We got these south winds kicking in, and not extremely strong, but it helps our temperatures warm up. So at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Throughout the evening hours, we'll drop back through the 60s, 50s, eventually lower 50s for overnight lows. We are going to see some changes down the road, so we're going to be looking at that all coming up here in just a little bit.
All right, we'll see you soon. A woman is dead from a crash today involving a Joplin School District utility van. No passengers were in the van. It happened this morning near Joplin's 20th Street Bridge, close to the high school. Police say 31-year-old Lauren Safely of Joplin was killed when her car crossed the center line and hit the van head-on. A passenger in her car and the driver of the van were both taken to the hospital. Authorities say her passenger is in critical condition. Still ahead, staying away from the office.
The pandemic forced many to work from home, but new research shows it could become permanent. I'm Naomi Ruckham with the reason why businesses are embracing it.
And next in Health Watch, how a new federal campaign aims to reduce the dangers of childbirth. COVID-19 continues to rage through the U.S., with the total number of cases nationwide now climbing toward 9.5 million. In Europe, a lockdown goes into effect tomorrow in the U.K., closing non-essential businesses. And the World Health Organization says new cases in Italy skyrocketed 72% in the last week. Researchers at the University of Michigan say they've identified a new cause of blood clots from COVID-19. They found in hospitalized patients severe COVID-19 triggers the production of antibodies in the blood that attack the cells and cause clots. These blood clots can lead to strokes and restrict blood flow to the lungs. Every year, tens of thousands of moms suffer from life-threatening complications related to pregnancy and childbirth. Now, federal health officials are launching a new campaign to bring awareness and help more mothers survive. Reporter Elise Preston has more.
He's the one who noticed his mom's face was swollen.
In a powerful new PSA campaign, the Centers for Disease Control wants you to hear the stories of mothers who almost lost their lives while trying to have a baby.
Oh, you're fine, you're pregnant.
Nearly 700 mothers each year die from complications during and after pregnancy. Omari Maynard's partner is one of them. He says Shamani Gibson alerted doctors she was in pain, but she still died of a pulmonary embolism just days after an emergency C-section.
Do I feel like she was being ignored? I feel like the care could have been a lot better if they were listening to her.
Mothers are increasingly dying from infection, hemorrhaging, and preeclampsia. 2/3 of the deaths are preventable. The Hear Her campaign hopes to encourage mothers and those around them to know the warning signs.
A headache that seems severe and will not go away. Unusual swelling, of the feet.
CDC Director of Reproductive Health, Dr. Wanda Barfield, says the timing of the campaign is even more critical with the COVID-19 pandemic.
Women may be concerned that they can't be seen by a provider, but if they have a pregnancy-related complication or a significant warning sign, it's really important that they reach out.
This campaign will target cities where maternal mortality rates are the highest, including New York, St. Louis, and Atlanta.
Gibson's 2 children are now growing up without their mom.
She just loved family, she loved the community, and she was just excited about being a mother.
Maynard hopes this campaign will prevent his nightmare from happening to other families. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Mothers of color are disproportionately affected by pregnancy-related complications. About 20% of adults are suffering with chronic pain, and women are more likely to experience it. A new National Health Interview survey also finds about 7% of adults reported chronic pain that often limited their life or work activities. Vitamin D can help reduce the symptoms of severe eczema for children. A new study in the journal Pharmacology Research and Perspectives looked at 86 patients with the inflammatory skin condition. During a 3-month period, symptoms eased for those receiving daily vitamin D. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dude from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we've got an animal fun fact about coyotes.
Plus, we've had the 70s over the past couple days, but the question is, how long will they stick around? We're going to look at that coming up. Well, we've had a nice little stretch of weather really since the big storm systems that we had last week. So since last Friday, it's actually been pretty good. The weekend turned out great Monday and Tuesday. And then today, once again, you can see our temps over the past couple days, mid-70s. On Election Tuesday, we went mid-70s once again for us during the afternoon hours today, which, hey, we'll definitely take. At least we get this nice stretch of fall after ice and snow across a good chunk of the region last week. 68 in Nevada, 69 Neosho, 68 in Miami, Pittsburgh, Neodesha, Independence, a little bit warmer at 70 degrees. South winds kicking in. This kind of helps our temperatures warm up just a little bit. So we have these south winds at about 10 to 15. They're not too strong, but they do keep our temperatures up just a little bit. I'd say the only downfall today has been the clouds. You can see these clouds up top, mid and upper level clouds. They're not really doing anything. We're not seeing any rain, but still it's turned out to be a pretty good day. 69 south winds, 10 to 15. Humidity is bone dry, so that also when you have much drier air, it allows those temperatures to warm up. We'll drop back through the 60s, 50s, eventually into lower 50s a little bit later on tonight. So the evening hours are going to be pretty good. Look at the clouds working through. There's nothing underneath the clouds, so we're going to stay dry. This is just a weak little upper level wave that is rotating through, but you can see besides that, there's not a whole bunch going on across the country. You got to go way out into the Gulf of Alaska and you can start to see some storm systems lining up, and eventually those will affect us, but it's not going to be until next Tuesday. So really from this point on until, well, late Sunday into Monday. Until then, we just don't have much going on. For us tonight, temperature's not bad. The clouds will start to work out. Let's go ahead and zoom in during the morning hours. 53, we'll still have some clouds around. And then I think by the noon hour, we look pretty good. Mostly sunny skies. 69, another great day. 73 during the afternoon. We'll have south winds at about 5 to 10. So just about fantastic across the board for you Thursday. Let's move on down the line. Tomorrow night and then into Friday, temperatures will drop back into the 50s again. We'll get a few more clouds in here. And then as we head into Friday afternoon, another great day. South winds, temperatures into the 70s. So high school football looks good for Friday evening. Even Saturday, let's go into Saturday afternoon, near 70 again. We'll have those south winds across the region. So when are we going to see some changes? Let's go down the road. So let's go through the weekend. Here's the wave on top of us now. It kind of just sits across the southern plains. Let's go into early next week. We're going to have a hurricane near Florida. We'll get a big storm system that kicks out into the western third of the country. We'll get one big wave, starts to roll in. Here's Monday into Tuesday. This system passes by. Another system drives in by Thursday into Friday. So it gets kind of active, but we're going to have a nice stretch of fall weather at least over the next few days. 73 tomorrow, 72 on Friday, 70 on Saturday, 73 on Sunday. Rain chances start to increase. Because I've been with my son the past couple days, we never got to the month-long forecast, so we're going to do that tonight at 10 o'clock.
All right, looking forward to that. Thanks, Ty. Coming up, why more businesses are making working from home permanent. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Sandra Spencer served in the U.S. Army from 1963 to 1966. The Carthage, Missouri native was stationed at Fort Ritchie in Maryland, and we salute Private First Class Sandra Spencer, a four-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes. They're from all across this area. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. You just go to our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Gun sales are at an all-time high. With about 2 months left in the year, U.S. sales are already greater than the record set in 2016. That's according to the National Shooting Sports Foundation. And the holiday season is typically the busiest time for gun sales. So far, more than 17 million background checks have been completed. Purchases have climbed every month since March, when the coronavirus pandemic took hold. The FBI is investigating reports of possible voter suppression. Federal authorities say the agency is looking into allegations of anonymous robocalls and texts urging voters to, quote, stay safe and stay home on Election Day. The suspicious calls were reported in Kansas, Michigan, and Nebraska. Millions of Americans started working from home when the coronavirus shut down office buildings, and it looks like the trend will continue even after the pandemic is over. Naomi Ruckham reports.
Akshay Arora used to work in the office every day for the real estate website Zillow, but he's now at home because of the pandemic.
Did you ever see yourself being a work from home person?
I have done work from home previously. I did not see this happening anytime soon. This is a big shift in the industry.
In a recent survey, 87% of remote workers said they want the option to keep doing so. Several major corporations are offering many of their employees the ability to do their jobs at home permanently, including Zillow.
Have you seen any impact on productivity?
Most of the impact that we've seen has been positive. We've been able to move up some of our product releases.
Zillow Chief People Officer Dan Spalding says even with the move to remote work, the company is keeping offices.
We believe that even if people are working from home, it's going to be important that they have our offices to come together, collaborate, talk through issues.
A study from staffing agency Robert Half found 61% of companies are advertising fully remote jobs, and 60% are now expanding their search geographically to access a wider candidate pool.
I think this is the new normal, and the data shows that as well.
Akshay says performing his job at home works for him.
It's been fantastic that Zillow's given us a flexible schedule where I have this time that I didn't have before. How does it go?
That extra time is now spent with his kids, who are just steps away when the workday is over. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
In a survey from Enterprise Technology Research, business leaders predicted that remote tech jobs could double in 2021. According to a new survey from career site Comparably, virtual conferencing platform Zoom has the happiest employees in America. The rankings were based on worker responses on happiness levels at work, including pay, coworker interaction, and that burnt-out feeling. It's the second year Zoom took the top spot. HubSpot was the second, and Microsoft rounded out the top three. Our pet vet on call next. The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have reactions from the winners of some area sheriff's races. Plus, we'll hear from the Nevada High School football head coach on how the program has turned around in recent years. And some kindergartners give some tips on remaining patient during these tense times. Stay with us with CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Despite our differences, sometimes we can accomplish more when we work together. Our pet vet on call today has a fun fact for us about coyotes.
Coyotes are very resourceful creatures. If their food gets away from them, like goes down into a burrow, they will seek out a badger, lead it to the burrow. The badger digs up the critter, they kill it, and then they share their meal. How's that for getting along in this world?
That's something. Hey, if you have a question, whether it's about a weird habit of your pet, health concern, whatever, just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we've chosen this Labrador Retriever Jack Russell Terrier mix. The name is Darcy. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we've chosen this female short hair named Cleopatra. If you're looking for a pet, check out your local Humane Society. Checking back in now with Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it looks great throughout the evening hours, even though we are going to have the clouds for about the next 6 to 9 hours, and then eventually we'll break out and see mostly sunny skies tomorrow. 73 for a high, 72 Friday, 70 Saturday. Really, all the way through Sunday looks pretty good. Rain chances start to increase and cooling down on Monday and Tuesday.
Looking pretty nice. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.